Hello everybody! In today's article, I'd like to show you how to refactor old code that uses the closure-based approach by adopting Swift's modern async-await syntax. Refactoring legacy code is not always easy. You need to carefully consider what to change, how to change it, and in what order. There's always a risk of breaking something that could compromise the entire project. In a moderately complex application, the code is usually structured across multiple layers. Let's look at a concrete example. Suppose we have an application with a network layer. This component exposes APIs that are consumed by various managers, which in turn are connected to view models. These view models generate the data used by the views. If we want to refactor this architecture from closure to async-await, our first instinct might be to start directly with the network layer. However, this approach comes with significant risk. Changing the network layer might break the managers, which would then break the view models and ultimately render the view unusable. The result? A chain of reaction that tears down the entire app architecture. Modifying the base class directly is too impactful. It requires a large-scale rewrite and exposes us to a high risk of introducing bugs. A safer and more maintainable approach is to refactor gradually, working from the outside in. For example, we could start by updating just one of the managers. This would only require changes to its specific view model and a corresponding view, limiting the scope to the update. This incremental approach allows us to adopt async-await step by step, with less effort and reduced risk. This entire process can be approached gradually with varying levels of difficulty and invasiveness, thanks to the tools provided by Xcode. As usually, you can find all the code of this project on my Patreon page, so if you like, subscribe. The link is in the description of this video. Let's take a look at a sample app that is already set up. I use the iTunes API to allow the user to download information about music albums and artists. The code is very simple, it doesn't require further explanations. We have a manager that uses the closure-based approach, and we're in the perfect position to rewrite our UI using Swift UI. So this is the right moment to make some refactoring. To make this task easier, Apple has introduced a specific feature in Xcode designed especially for us developers. So move the mouse over the name of the function, click with the right button, and then choose Refactor, and at the bottom menu you can see we have three options. Let's start with the first one from the bottom, so add async wrapper. Let's push it and... Okay, now we can see that Xcode created two versions of our function, one with the old closure-based version and another one with the async-await version. We can choose to use both, but we will decide, of course, to refactor and use the new one with the async-await. In order to be notified where in the code we use the old version instead of the new one, we can add the deprecated warning inside the old one. That is very, very useful. You can see that Xcode will notify everywhere in the project where the old version is used. As you can see, this one is just a wrapper. The async-await just wraps the old version of the code. So let's modify our view model, and we have to make some modification here too. So the first one is how we call the function using the new async-await way. We can remove the old function. And of course we'll have a few warnings and few errors that we can easily fix, just adding a wait or a try. We need to put all our function inside a task to fully support concurrency. And with small modification we can give the result to our results variable. So very well, the first refactoring is done. Let's rewrite everything and let's try the second option. So right click on Refactor and we select the Add Async alternative. So basically what it does is the mirror version of the previous one, and here Xcode creates an async version and then wraps it on the closure-based version too. So it's almost the same. We have to get rid of the return for this version, small modifications, but everything will work just fine. As you can see, we had to change nothing since we have done already the refactor. So let's get back and let's revert once again for our final version of the code. So this one is really simple. As usually, right click and select Refactor and then select convert function to async. This one is pretty simple. It doesn't create two functions but just one, just like we've seen before, and it substitutes the version using the async await. So you can choose which one you like most and the one that's suited for your project. So let's take a look at our app and let's see if everything is fine with our updated code. Well, yes, it is. So the solution was very simple and easy. So thank you for watching, and if you like to support me, on the description there is my Patreon page, and please remember to subscribe to this channel. Thank you!